All right, I've got 6:30. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order with a roll call vote.
Travis Kramer.
Here.
Scott McCready.
Here.
Jeremy Johnson.
Here.
Macy.
Here.
Paul Charles.
Here. The open meeting act is posted on the wall. Item 4, consent agenda. Does anybody have any reason we need to consider anything separately? If not, I'll take a motion for approval.
What happened to the door, John, to the tractor?
Oh, we were acting up and didn't see something and it threw the door.
Gotcha.
This is not
Insurance at all or not?
Over 1,000.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Thanks. Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as provided.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval of the consent agenda as presented. If there's no further discussion, let's vote on that motion.
Scott McCready.
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason Macy. Travis Kramer.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Item 5, approval of the minutes from the December 18th, 2023 regular board meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second for approval of the minutes from the December 18th, 2023 regular board meeting as presented. If there's no further discussion, let's vote on that motion.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason Macy.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye.
Scott McCready.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Unfinished business, 6A, third and final reading and adoption of ordinance 679, amendment to AMC 12.04.020.
Make a motion for the third and final reading and passage of ordinance number 679. An ordinance of the Village of Arlington, Nebraska to amend chapter 12, article 4, section 20. Lien and establish the use of liens in a collection agency for delinquent utility accounts. Amending and replacing all ordinances for parts of ordinances and conflict herewith. And providing for an effective date, be it ordained by the chairman of the Board of Trustees, Village of Arlington, Washington County, Nebraska.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the third and final reading of ordinance 680. If there's no further discussion, let's vote on that motion.
Jason Macy.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye.
Scott McCready.
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Ordinance number 680 is passed and adopted this 15th day of January 2024. Item B, discussion and possible approval of resolution 12182023D to update terms of billing for water and service for the fairgrounds.
Brian.
Have a,
Yeah, Brian Smith said he'd be here on Zoom. He is not.
we can table this for now and come back to it.
Yeah.
Okay. New business, item A, discussion with Michaela Valentin from OPPD.
That's me. Hi,
Hi.
Michaela Valentine. I am the Government and Community Relations Manager for the Omaha Public Power District. I've been before you probably, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago now. We had better weather, I remember. So, yeah, we've been busy with the electrical system and trying to keep the heat on for the last few days. As you might know, I'm sure some of you received phone calls from OPPD. But I just wanted to come and remind you, I like to get around to everybody at least one time a year to remind you that I'm your liaison. If you have any issues with OPPD, or if any of your constituents come to you and have issues with OPPD, I'll give Kate my business card again so that you all have it. you can give me a call and I'm happy to help you navigate through OPPD and answer your questions. A little bit about what's going on at OPPD recently, if you've been following us in the news, is we're doing a near-term generation plan. So for the last 78 years, OPPD has been about 2,500 megawatts. And in the next 10 years, we have to double that system. So you're going to see us putting up a lot of assets all over the service territory. And just as a reminder, the service territory is the bottom part of Burt County, all the way down to the Nebraska-Kansas border. And it's just about like Wahoo, if you drew a line all the way down, it's about Wahoo east to the river. So we're constantly working on putting up all different kinds of assets. You'll see some natural gas, you'll see some solar like we have out in Utan, and we're looking at batteries. So we're looking at the whole gamut of what could create a diverse portfolio. So just want to make you aware of that and bring you along on the journey with us, because it's going to be several years that we'll be putting up these generating assets all over. Don't have any immediate plans for anything going on in your neck of the woods, but if we do, we will certainly come talk to you about that and engage you and want to hear your feedback on that as well. So that's what we've got going on. Is everybody getting my government affairs newsletter at the end of the month? Want to make sure that you guys are receiving that so that you're getting updates at least once a month about what's going on. I'm happy to take any questions if you have any.
I'll take one of your cards, Michaela.
You bet. You bet. You want me to just live with Kate or
I'll
distribute them?
take one.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for the time on the agenda.
No problem.
Appreciate the opportunity to come speak with you all. I'll stick around for a while in
You
case.
guys worry about electric vehicles?
We worry about
that's-
a lot of things.
I mean,
They do pull a lot of energy.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing that everybody talks about is they're scared that the infrastructure won't handle it if everybody does convert to electric.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of new developments that want to put in all electric in every single garage, whether people have electric vehicles or not, because they're trying to like plan for the future. And that gets to be an issue. I mean, we were not ever anticipating putting in that many chargers. So we have to go have conversations with developers about what's reasonable and what we can do. I mean, we're still experiencing supply chain issues from when we were in COVID. You know, our number one thing is we've got to be able to get transformers. And we have enough right now, but we don't have a healthy supply of them just sitting around as well. So, yeah,
Where's those come from?
They come from all over. Yeah, some of them are domestic, some of them come internationally, but yeah, they come from all over. And, you know, we're not unique. All utilities are going through this right now, especially in the Midwest. But yeah, it's an issue that we're going to have to plan for. And that's part of what we're looking at when we're talking about our near-term generation plan as well. Great question. Anyone else have any questions?
As far as, is there opportunities for municipalities to partner with OPPD as far as like, as you build out your infrastructure for providing that future electricity?
Yeah, I mean, I think so, for sure. We've had other municipalities contact us and say, like, can we do community solar or some EV chargers on our main street? So we're definitely open to having the conversation. And one of the things we can do is help find grant opportunities as well. So happy to do that for you guys if you have any interest in, you know, you just have to let me know what it is that you're thinking about for your city plan. And then we can take a look at, you know, what's on the table, what you think the future looks like in 5 to 10 years and try to plan with you.
There was some discussion a while back we were involved in because it was in our 3-mile jurisdiction about just east of town, there was supposed to be a solar farm going up. Have you heard anything about that progress?
No, and I was at Washington County on I want to say the 4th, and talked to the planning commission, and they haven't heard. That's called I think it's the Big Elk project, and they haven't heard from the developers either. So you guys aren't the only jurisdiction unless anybody else has heard something different. We haven't heard from them.
Yeah.
We'd like to get an update as well.
Yeah.
So they haven't been in contact with you. They haven't been in contact with Washington County. I know that they have their conditional
I'll bet it's
use
been
permit.
2 years or better.
They got their conditional use permit in October of 2020 for the solar field. So no, but I'll ask our alternative energy
I was just
engineers if
curious
they've
why
heard
we
from
had-
them.
hadn't heard anything or seen anything.
Yeah, we haven't either, but yeah, we definitely were interested. If you hear from any of them, we'd like to know, and we'll tell you the same if we've talked to them as well.
So are there grants for charging stations then right now for municipalities?
I don't know if there's any active grants right now. We have one grant officer. We need to get a couple more, but I will go back and visit with her.
Because I think that could be something that'd be interesting for our community to get one or two of those potentially, I suppose, because I know there's not even that many in Fremont, so. You know,
Yeah,
a spot along Highway 30, that'd be, you know,
yeah, that would be lucrative.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at our grants and I'll talk to our grant officer and see, and then we can keep our eye on it for you. And then I just kind of keep that in the back of my
Yeah.
mind. I keep a running list of it. And if I see grants come up for municipalities, then I try to contact you and let you know. And the other thing is, you guys are in the MAPPA footprint, aren't you?
yes.
So MAPPA has people that can help you write the grants, because I'm sure you're kind of running on a tight staff here. I know you're doing a lot on your own, so they could probably help you guys source a grant, write a grant. So I'll let you know as well. We meet with them every Wednesday, every other week. So I'll let them know that you're interested in that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And if you think of questions, just, email me or give me a call. My cell phone number is on there as well.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks for
Thank you.
coming.
All right, item B, streets, committee report.
Brian's on the Zoom. He just joined. Brian Smith, if you want to go.
Oh, okay, yeah, let's go back to the water and sewer service for the county fairgrounds. Brian, we've been talking, and our proposal is that we don't charge for every single meter, but we feel like it would be fair to charge the normal billing for water meter and sewer usage. That's what we're looking at doing. We'd like to be a good partner with the fair. So we figure charging for every meter is probably not important, but that's what we're looking at.
Okay. We appreciate it. Can you hear me, I assume, first of all?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we appreciate, anything that you can do for us. I think we have 3 meters, if I'm correct. Is that jive with what you have?
We've got 5.
Okay. And that's, yeah, I can think of the 3. I don't know where the other 2 would be, but
James, do you recall where they're all at?
There's a wash station, the 2 buildings, obviously, the Riven building, and then there's the 2 restrooms, north restroom and the south restroom.
Okay. Does that sound right?
those are independently metered. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We looked into getting 1 meter to make it a little easier, but I don't think we could afford, I can't remember what the estimates were, but a meter that large was not justifiable. We didn't.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I thought that the shower house was metered off the Riven. So so that's my mistake. Okay.
We can double check that, but I don't know why they
No,
would
that's
be.
fine.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, so I mean, clearly the 2 that get any significant usage are what's now the RVR building and the Riven building. The shower outside of the fair week gets, minimal usage. The one that's up by the south of the beef barn gets used during the fair for the wash rack. And again, I don't know where the other one would be off the top of my head, but yeah, that's certainly, we certainly appreciate whatever you guys can do for us.
and we have to keep raising our rates for everybody else, and we just felt like it was a good time now that we've got meters. We've got more meters than we've ever had. So
Yeah.
we can justify tracking this and charging for usage. We know there's some big ones on the fairground, like a fire hydrant that's not metered, and that's probably only used during the fair. So.
And I do have some information on that. If you want the information, John Hinton, when we use that, so during the fair, that gets used for arena prep for the events in the evening. And John puts a meter on that, a double certified black backflow preventer, all that good stuff. He puts that on during the fair, and he said we use somewhere between 20 and 25,000 gallons from that fire hydrant during the fair.
Mhm.
Beyond that, it's seldom used, if ever, other than during the fair itself.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
and like I said, I don't think we're worried about that one at this point, but you know, we just wanna. We want to be able to say that we're trying to offer you something to be a good partner and a few perks, but. But yeah, we do need to be responsible to the citizens that we're making our larger customers pay their fair share, so.
Absolutely, absolutely. And your citizens are our customers and we want them happy too. So, I mean, I know what we paid for 22. Do you have the 23 numbers or?
So the 23 numbers are the same as the 2022 numbers. It's just that 1,520 that
Okay.
you've been paying. I haven't sent
Okay.
that yet though, because I just want, we're probably gonna change it up, so.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's where it's been annually for,
And do you remember what your estimate was for monthly usage?
I think I left that sheet on my desk. I'm gonna go grab that so I can be accurate.
And we can set a date on this that's gonna be convenient for you to get to your board and make sure that everybody's aware of changes before we do it.
Yeah, that's fine. We actually have a board meeting tomorrow night, so I'll give them a heads up kind of what you guys are thinking about anyway.
Give us just a minute here. I think Kate might have
Sure.
those. We made an estimate of what your billing would be. And I don't know if it was, I think it was right at the fair. So it would probably be a pretty good number of high usage.
Yeah. I apologize for being late. Somehow it got entered in my calendar as 6:45, not 6:30. So I apologize for that.
No problem.
No worries.
How are the streets in Arlington?
They're great.
Yeah, just as soon as I said that, yeah, you guys are the wrong guys to ask about that problem.
John's sitting across the room. I can't say anything but great right now.
It's
That's all
been
we would
tough
say
on everybody.
anyway.
I finally managed to get out today from my place, so.
Yeah, we had guys putting in 30 some hours of snow removal this week, and I'm not gonna complain at all because I sat inside for most of it.
Yeah, we live on the top of a hill, so we had a lot of drifting and I wasn't prepared. My diesel treatment wasn't prepared for 20 below temperatures either. Didn't quite make it down low
Yeah.
enough.
I saw a few of them on the side of the road between here and Blair today that I think had the same problem.
Yeah, a lot of guys I talked to.
Okay, so, for all 5 meters, it's been about, $300 a month for all 5 all 5 meters. So, if we go off that estimate, it's about 3,600 a year based on your consumption.
Okay.
So it's not a huge increase. I mean, it's comparative to what it was. It's about double. A little more than double, but we figure it's probably a good time to try and get in front of the usage before we have to do another rate increase or something like that. And give you guys some lead time, so.
Okay.
And we've got this open to vote on. We can put any date in there. Travis, did you have an idea of what date we wanted to put on this or?
I think we were planning originally the first of the year, but we got delayed because of the weather thing. So
Yeah,
I don't know if it's conducive to wait any longer, again, other than a chance for you to let your board know about it.
Right, and the conversation I had, we fully expected that something was gonna go up, and that, again, we understand that, we wanna pay our fair share, so. Whether you make it back to the first, or I don't know what you guys can do, legally or whatever, but. Whenever you need to do it, let's do it and be done, and we'll move on with it, so.
Kate, the 1520, that was annually for a fiscal year, or sorry, a calendar year?
Yes,
Okay.
charged every January. So like I haven't charged for this.
Right,
I don't know,
right.
for in between. So I just haven't done anything yet.
So I'd recommend we just start.
Just start.
if we go retroactive to January 1st, then we would cover the gap from the other contract, is what you're saying. There would be
You
no
asking
gap.
me?
There would be no gap.
Right.
Kate, I'm asking Kate, yeah. So yeah, starting on January 1st would probably be the best for us.
Do we need a reading,
Do we need
a
what?
start reading?
Oh.
Do we need a reading to start to say from here on, we're going per,
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
we'd probably have to take an effective.
When does that normal reading start?
Well, tomorrow we're reading meters.
Okay. Then let's just start at that date. The first meter reading in January,
16.
Yeah.
and we'll go from there on. And then,
And do. What have we decided, 36, or are we doing? I'm sorry. I'm confused.
Sure.
What is the rate we're doing now annually? That's what I'm asking. Or are we doing by usage?
we're gonna recommend by
By
usage,
usage.
you'll see what the
Yeah.
board votes on here.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Travis and I are gonna recommend usage, and
Yeah.
I think
Standard.
that's probably gonna be,
So we would charge them.
Annually, not monthly.
No, I recommend we go monthly.
is it gonna be a problem for you guys to do a monthly bill, Brian, or would you rather do something?
Well, it probably would be better if we could do something less than monthly, just for, for the volunteer treasurer and things. I mean, if you could even do quarterly would be helpful, right?
Yeah, I think that we could probably figure out how to do that. We'll set the billing up monthly and then send you a quarterly bill if that's okay with you guys.
That should be fine. And so, but we have yet to determine the rate then? Or you said you're gonna do two of the 5 meters? Is that what you're gonna do?
We're gonna add all 5 meters together.
Yep.
And we're gonna charge you as one service instead of charging for 5 separate services.
Okay. And then go actual usage, and for 23, that was $3,600-ish.
That was 1 month in 2020. Oh, yes, that was an average. If that month that we picked to look at for usage was an average month, 1 year would be around $3,600.
Okay.
And that was in August, you said?
This was just the last 7 months. I calculated an average monthly.
Okay, so that's an average from the last 7 months, a yearly amount based on a 7-month average. So that should be a pretty good pretty good broad average for you guys.
Which would include their peak fare.
And that would include most of your heavy months and not the lighter months like right now. I would assume you guys use a lot less now, so that'll help too. That might bring that average down on a year.
Okay. So we're gonna look at quarterly billing, and based on the 23 number, we're looking at somewhere $3,000 to $3,600 for the year.
Yes,
Okay.
and that'll be at our standard billing rates for water used.
And then for 2023, we're gonna just charge them the 1,500 or we're gonna charge them the 3,000.
Did we,
3,600.
we haven't charged for 23 already?
No, it gets.
No, that's what she said.
Oh,
January.
gosh, I thought it was.
For the
free, not
previous
post.
year?
Correct, that's what she said.
Oh. Okay, well, we're gonna have to get 2023 handled first, the $1,500. The normal amount, and then we'll start with our normal meter reading that is tomorrow. And
Yep.
we'll send you a quarterly bill after that,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, that's fine. So we'll get a bill for the 1,500, and then we'll start billing the next one. We'll bill monthly, get an invoice or whatever quarterly, somewhere between, it'll end up working out somewhere between 3,000 and 3,600 for the year.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Did you have any other
Again,
questions?
I mean, we were expecting something, and knowing that we do use a fair amount of water down there, we want to be fair, and we shouldn't have anything different than anybody else pays. So,
We appreciate that. Thank you, Brian.
all right. You need anything else for me?
I think we're good. Thank you.
Think so.
All right. If you guys have questions, you know how to get a hold of me.
Have a good night.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You too. Take care. Bye.
Okay, so we got to fill in the blank on that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I was confused about, I didn't realize we billed in the arrears on that.
I don't think I really said it, but that's okay. So the fill in the blank, I think what I'm understanding will read. County Fairgrounds will transition to quarterly billing system for water and sewer service effective January 16th, 2024. And then that bottom section of be it further resolved, the Washington County Fairgrounds will be charged the monthly municipal water and sewer rates pursuant to AMC 1204-140. Will stay in there. Does that make sense?
And then put in there, so charge monthly, but billed quarterly. I would add the billed
Okay,
quarterly on there.
transition to quarterly billing.
Will be charged the monthly municipal water and sewer pursuant to blah, 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 and billed quarterly.
So someone will have to read that when we read the resolution, right? Okay,
And charge for a single service, not 5 services, right?
So we'll transition to quarterly billing system for water and sewer service for single.
transition to one service billing. One service monthly billing paid quarterly for water and sewer effective January 16th. How does that sound? That short and sweet enough?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to help whoever reads the ordinance.
Okay.
We had quarterly usage in there. Right?
No,
We wanna get the monthly usage. but
We're gonna build quarterly.
All right.
For
So
single service,
we're gonna go and read it every month, but then we'll add it all up.
I got you. All right.
for single service, monthly billing paid quarterly. And then
Yeah,
The
Is that-
effective start date of January 16th.
okay. Whatever you're writing down, Travis, sounds great.
It's on tape.
I moved to introduce resolution. Moves, let's see, hold on. Board member tribe, move to introduce resolution 12-18-2023D. Move first passage. Is this entirety? Yeah. A resolution of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Arlington, Nebraska to update terms of billing for water and sewer service for the Washington County Fairgrounds located at 23656 US Highway 30, Arlington, Nebraska. Whereas the current billing structure of $1,520 paid annually for water and sewer service at the Washington County Fairgrounds in Arlington, Nebraska is insufficient for the facility's monthly water consumption. Now therefore be it resolved by the chairman and the Board of Trustees of the Village of Arlington, Nebraska, that the Washington County Fairgrounds will transition to a single service monthly billing paid quarterly for water and sewer service effective January 16th, 2024. Be it further resolved, the Washington County Fairgrounds will be charged the monthly municipal water and sewer rates pursuant to AMC 12.04.140. Passed and approved this 15th day of January 2024 at Arlington, Nebraska.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the passage of resolution 1218-2023D. If there's no further discussion, let's vote on that motion.
Travis Kramer.
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason Weasel.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. All right. And so everything's spelled out.
Yeah.
We don't need to set anything else up. Okay. All right, streets as a committee, we really haven't had anything new. We're here to talk about sales tax, so let's just get this out of the way while Austin's here before we get to that. Kate said we have approximately 900,000 in sales tax. I don't know how much of that the board is comfortable in using.
And how much of it do we annually for the current bond for the other street?
So that was 65,000.
That's 65.
Yeah, your current payment on your
Yeah.
existing highway bond.
Yep.
And do you remember what our streets allotment is, John? Because our streets allotment doesn't cover that payment. It does.
Your highway allocation? Yeah, your
Highway allocation, yes, I'm sorry.
Your current highway allocation is about 183,000.
Okay.
So it does cover that, yeah.
So we have to figure as a board, I don't know that we have to vote on anything, but kind of get an idea of how much of that we want to spend on the project. The construction amount, the bid is 1,675,000, correct? That number is derived from the bid. So we have roughly 200,000 in construction administration by our engineering company. I'd very rough. It could be 225, somewhere in that range, but
Sure.
because they're 10% plus another. What did you say? Another
5%.
5%. So yeah, figure 165,000 plus another 85, so. If we want to pay some of that out of sales tax, what's the best way to split that up? Maybe pay the engineering company out of sales tax. See what we need for the bond when construction comes around, or how?
Yeah, you could. Do you want me to maybe present on the updated bond numbers and then maybe open it up at the end?
That sounds good.
Yeah, so hi everyone, Austin Partridge. So Tobin Buchanan was really hoping to make it tonight. He got pulled out west for a couple other board meetings. So, but he says to tell you all hi.
Well, you've been our guy. You're the guy we've dealt with.
I've been here for the past 4 or 5 years now, but so yeah, just I can give you an update on current highway allocation bond numbers, and then just give you high level overview of the bond ordinance that's on the agenda tonight, and then we can talk maybe what we would be comfortable with using to pay down the project, and then also making those payments as we go. So I'll pass these around. Should be enough copies there. These are. So this is a $1,640,000 bond, highway allocation bond. Interest rates right now in the market, we are seeing them come down actually quite a bit since December. So just to give you an idea, we did a couple paving bonds, closed them up in December. City of Minden is probably the most similar to this one, a 20-year highway allocation bond that they locked in 5%. So interest rates right now in the bond market for a 20-year bond, right around 4.5%. So we've come down about 50 basis points just in the last couple of weeks. So certainly helpful to see that. If you're looking at that first page, that debt service schedule. So annual payments on this amount of bonds, so this 1.6 million, your annual payments would be just under 130,000 a year. And that's over 20 years. If you then flip to that third page, so that second page shows you a semi-annual payment schedule, just like you're paying under your bonds. And the third page shows you the net debt service schedule. So that shows you, you see that second column all the way to the right, that existing debt service, those are your payments on what you're paying on that current highway allocation bond. So average of about 65,000 a year. If you add both of them together, that's that far right-hand column. Your payments are right around $190,000 a year if you issue the full 1.6 million. And then the back page here, this kind of shows your highway allocation revenue dollars that you receive annually from the state compared to what your total bond payments would be with your existing bond, and then the projected 1.6 million. So that shows you would cover your bond payments theoretically about 1 times with your current highway allocation revenue dollars. Now you've got a couple different options when it comes to structuring the bonds, and we don't have to get into a lot of this tonight. This just shows level payments throughout your new or your 2024 highway bond. Of course, if you look at that, so that total net P&I, you can see about 190,000 up until you pay off your existing highway allocation bond, and then your payments drop down to that just under 130,000. You could wrap your new bond around your existing highway allocation bond and create lower your annual payment a little bit. So you would lower it to, I've got the numbers if you want to see them, but you would lower it to about 183. You would perfectly match what you receive in your highway allocation revenue. Of course, that just means we would push some principal to the back end of the bond. That means you'd be paying a little bit more in total interest over the life of that, but you would have level highway allocation payments for the next 20 years. So if that's something you'd be interested in, I can hand those out, but nothing we need to decide tonight. In terms of the ordinance, I'll just real quick. So it's just a parameters ordinance, like we've done in the past. So we're going to set a not to exceed bond amount tonight, which on the agenda is that $1,675,000 number. So we have the authorization to issue anything up to, but not to exceed that 1.675 figure. That's not the bond that we'll actually issue. We'll resize it based on maybe kind of what we talk about tonight in terms of how much we want to use to pay down the bond and then what we'll need for the project. But that's our not to exceed authorization for the bonds. Maybe I'll pause there and we can talk a little bit about.
So my biggest questions are gonna be,
Yeah.
if we have a construction start in April,
Yeah, I think they said April 4th.
we're right on time right now to vote for 3 months on that. We have to vote for
Yes.
3 months on this. Unless it was an emergency, which I don't think this constitutes as an emergency
For the bond ordinance,
for the bond ordinance.
we would typically recommend you waive the 3 reading rule. So in the ordinance that you have, we actually have language in there that will waive the 3 reading rule just for the fact of
That gives
being in
you
a
more
position
time to get.
to have the funds ready for the
Okay,
project.
so we waive it, we read it tonight,
Yep.
then at what point do we have to decide how much we want to get, how much of that money we want to get?
Yeah, before we issue the bonds.
Okay.
So our next steps and what the process will look like from here until you start construction. So we'll put together an offering document, just has information about the village. It will have the actual bond amount that the village would like to issue. So it might be helpful to have that tonight. Certainly could come back at your February board meeting, but that might be pushing it a little bit. Just because it typically takes about 30 days from the time that you sell your bonds and lock in your interest rates from the time that you can close on them. So, maybe a preliminary timeline from tonight to construction would be, we would have everything ready to go in the next week or two. So we get all the documents ready to go. That would put us last week of January, first 2 weeks of February, depending on kind of where the market's at. If we're comfortable with interest rates and we want to get that locked in, that's when we would hold the sale of the bonds and get your bond issued. And then 30 days from that, maybe first or second week of February, we would put you on mid-March to close on the bond. So you're kind of, and have the funds available to start paying construction, start paying engineering fees, things like that. And you've got some funds on hand, so maybe you can make that work for a little bit, but that's kind of what timing looks like right now. So certainly could come back in February. That just might push you a little bit over that construction start date.
So what things do we have designated coming out of the sales tax fund right now? Do we have any consistent obligations?
Our yearly payment on the building,
Mhm.
which is pretty small anymore. What was it, 30,000 the last time?
Yeah, it's gonna be smaller in December.
And that's it.
That's coming along.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I'd like to see is I'd like to see us pay something off with sales tax up front, like maybe the engineering fees.
Mhm.
Maybe we pay that off. Maybe we make this. We pass this resolution for up to 1.64, which gives us the leeway if something goes south, and then you want us to pick a number tonight?
It would be helpful. You certainly don't have
Yeah.
to. It would be helpful just to have everything ready to go to meet that, to get you the funds by construction.
So let's say,
You don't,
don't take half of that, what we've got, 450,000. Half of that could pay for our engineering costs out of pocket without having to raise anybody's taxes. And then we say, okay, that leaves us with 1.4 million is the number we really need. Which even by April, we should probably have more sales tax in there.
Mhm.
That's my suggestion. That leaves us with half of it in reserve, untouched. And that cuts down a little bit on these. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, that's what the sole purpose is of the sales tax,
Yeah.
is to infrastructure plans. And
Does that
I
sound?
would like to see us use that sales tax as opposed to just let it sit.
Yeah. Well,
Well, I always like to keep a little for
yeah.
emergencies.
well, when you put in a well that's $2 million, you'll need some of that.
is that sales tax dedicated to any?
To the improvement of the town, it's not.
Okay, general
yeah,
infrastructure.
General infrastructure.
Yep. So I just passed this around. This is in anticipation of maybe this conversation tonight. This is just a summary of different bond amounts that you can look at. So Paul, if you were throwing around the $1.4 million bond, that's that middle box there. So that's 1.4 million of a 20-year highway allocation bond.
That gets us well under the
Yeah.
allocation numbers.
Yep, and that shows you what your total principal and interest would be. So that bond would be just under 110,000 a year plus your 65 that you're currently paying on. So you would get under what your yearly highway allocation revenue would be.
Makes us feel a little better if we can go there.
I think so.
Covered.
I would like to be under that highway allocation, because then none of this bond is gonna get attached to people's property taxes then, right?
Correct. Yep.
So if we can keep doing stuff without raising people's property taxes, that makes me happy.
It does help. I will say too, it does help a little bit in marketing the bond. So you would.
We have skin in the game.
Yeah, so we would show a little bit better, not significantly, but it would help to show that we are bringing in
Get us a better rate.
83,000, but our total bond payments are only 170 or 165 a year. Some investors, a lot of it will go to your local bank, but what we have to take out, if they can't do the full 1.4 million to be able to show that, that brings in a lot of different investors that really would like to purchase your bond. So the more orders that we can get, the more we can drop your interest rate on that bond. So it does help with marketing a little bit of the bond too.
So to move forward on this,
And then 680.
ordinance 680. And then we have to put a number in there.
And we're waiting.
So we put the number in already.
Yeah, it's-
And that's.
that's-
Do we leave the,
Okay to leave that
total.
number, yep.
but you would rather know that number that we really want tonight?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we
yeah.
just read it as presented.
Yep.
Ordinance 680. And we'll have to waive.
I'm ready to go. You're
So-
ready to do it.
All right, hold on, waiving. Suspension of rules.
Yep, I'm ready.
Go ahead.
I move to introduce ordinance number 680 and move the statutory rules requiring reading on 3 different days be suspended.
I second the motion to suspend the rules.
Let's have a roll call vote.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Bill Kraus.
Aye. The motion to suspend the rules was adopted by more than 3/4 of the village board, and the statutory rules are declared suspended for the consideration of ordinance 680.
I move for final passage of ordinance number 680, which reads, an ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale by the village of Arlington, Nebraska of its general obligation highway allocation fund pledge bond series 2024 in one or more series in an aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $1,675,000 to pay the costs of constructing and improving certain streets and related improvements of the village, authorizing certain officials to determine the final aggregate principal amount, maturity, rates, redemption provisions, terms, and other details of such bonds, pledging funds received from the Nebraska Highway Allocation Fund and providing for the levy and the collection of an annual tax for the purpose of paying the principal of premium, if any, and interest on the bonds, designating bonds as qualified tax exempt obligations, adopting certain post-issuance tax compliance and disclosure policies and procedures with respect to the bonds, and authorizing certain other documents and actions in connection therewith.
I second the motion for final passage.
Shall ordinance number 680 be passed and adopted? Let's have a roll call vote.
Jason Macy.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Aaron Hanson.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. The passage and adoption of said ordinance, having ordinance 680, having been concurred in by a majority of all members of the village board, has been passed and adopted this 15th day of January 2024. Anything else you need from us tonight then?
We don't need anything else, so is that?
I think that 1.4 is a comfortable number. What happens if we get a big sales tax influx that then we want to lower it? Is that a big deal? Or not?
The bond amount?
Yeah,
You can always refinance it. There is that 5-year call on the bond, so we've got to wait 5 years. After that 5 years, we can hopefully be in a position to refinance this bond once, maybe a couple times over its life. But if we have quite a bit of sales tax funds that we want to start using to pay down the bond, a lot of cities or villages will start paying down the back end that usually carries the highest rate. So we'll just start paying it down. If you want to refinance it and pay a portion of it off, it's pretty common that we.
but if we get a big influx in March and say we decide we only want to borrow 1.2, it's probably too late then. So at that point.
Once we issue the bonds, it's
too late.
those
Yep.
bonds are
Okay.
issued. Certainly we'll keep you updated up until we issue them,
Mhm.
first 1 or 2, first week or 2 of February. If we decide to change that, if we plan to issue the bonds Thursday and you say we've got a big influx on Wednesday, we can change it right there. But once we do issue and lock in the interest rate, then that's locked in at that point.
Okay. All right.
Well, we could do 1.3, so that would be about 6. I mean, let's see, so we're at 900. And it's, what'd you say? It's
Roughly 250 for construction for JEO's cost. If you guys want to go 1.3, does that still leave everybody enough comfort? I would be okay with that.
I'm okay with 1.3. If everybody else is.
Scott? Is that enough comfort level for you? I will.
Yeah, I mean, we got enough to pay off our monthly for this building here.
Yeah,
Other than that, I guess it's just sitting there.
and that's been growing over $100,000 a year. So it's not like that money's not going to continue to grow throughout the year.
Yes.
Let's go 1.3 on the number, if that's okay with everybody.
So just to clarify, that would be 625 out of the sales tax fund.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, plan on 1.3. We can change it up until we issue in February and then.
Good with that?
I am. Yeah, definitely.
All right,
All right.
let's do it.
We'll get working. I'll get Tobin out here eventually, but we'll get everything ready to go. And just be in a position to. We do see rates hopefully continue to trend down. A lot of that gets priced in. When the Fed came out in December, that told us that they think they're going to start cutting rates this year. A lot of that gets priced in. So we get that benefit right now on the rate. But hopefully we see it just trickle down a little bit more. And then the plan will be to lock in early February and have the funds ready by March. I will say too, just another strategy piece that we're seeing a lot of cities and villages do. But so when you get that full 1.3 million, a lot of it pay a lot of it right out of the gate, but some of it that you don't use, if construction's over the course of a couple months, if you put that with your local bank or some local government money market funds are paying north of 5% right now. So you can actually earn more
So much you're paying.
Then we're
than
paying.
you're paying, and that helps just offset some of the interest and actually on 1.3 million can earn you quite a bit. So
Okay,
we'll make sure to put the funds to use and we'll go with that schedule. So.
all right. Thank you. I appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and yeah, let me know if questions come up between now and then, and should be good, so.
Thank you.
Thank you, yeah.
All right,
Is going from 1.4 to 3, that saves you almost an entire payment.
yeah. All right. Hope that well keeps going for another 5 years. Okay, item D, discussion and possible approval of a quote from Carlos Construction LLC for approach and sidewalk work on Third and Eagle.
So quick question, we don't have to vote on spending that money? That sales tax on using that, 625,000? I don't know, I'm asking,
I think we will, once we go to spend it.
okay,
I think we'll have to vote to appropriate that money, yes.
okay,
But that money is in there for the improvement of the village, so
okay, so when we go to spend it,
Yes.
we'll go like in
Like
March?
March.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So what we
We have
need
to
to
pay
do,
video
what we need to
sooner.
do is when we make these payments to JEO for the construction costs of this project, we need to earmark that that's out of sales tax. And that's something that I forget to do when we want to do that sometimes, but
okay,
for this project, we'll have to make sure that we earmark that as coming out of sales tax funds.
So one's for Third Street and one's for Eagle then, John? So
These are the approaches that the gentleman came up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Obviously, we probably wouldn't be able to do the work right now.
what page is it?
I mean, I can report concrete when it's 20 rolls. You guys. So hopefully these prices all stay. That way I did explain that to Carlos, and I said, if it goes up, we might have to rebid it. This, as for now, this is the price.
But if we prove it now, we have a better chance of it not changing.
If you approve it now, I'm gonna have to have him, that's how that's gonna be performed the work phase, that is that.
Yeah.
So good, you may have to get a new approval. If it changes. I know concrete prices haven't gone down, so.
And Carlos Constructions, who did this over
Yeah,
here?
he
Did a nice job, yeah.
He changed
Changed his name?
Name because his
Did an
partner,
LLC or something? Yeah,
him split up, so.
gotcha. So do we want to do both or we just want to do one? Because we had talked to that guy about just doing one that day.
That's up to you guys.
What are your
I
thoughts?
just got, I was told the prices on both of them, so.
I think if he's gonna be here,
Do both and have it over with?
do both.
I know we were concerned
Probably
about
makes
if we
him happier.
updated one of those roads, we don't end up turning about it.
Yeah, but I don't see that. Probably 2 or 3 years away from doing another big road project,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I don't think Eagle's higher, I don't know. I don't know where we're at on streets priority.
I don't have the 1 6-year plan.
Yeah.
So.
Eagle or Fourth always seems to come up higher than anybody else. But it's probably 2 years away, so let's get it done.
And in the street budget, we have the $6,000 to do that.
Yeah, we normally budget 10 grand for sidewalks and
We have, I think, budgeted 10 to 15,000 sidewalk. approaches.
You can get them both done at 6.
it probably makes you happier if we bid both of them,
I
get.
would imagine it just more lucrative for them to come over here and do.
Yeah.
It. I don't know if that's the correct spelling of my name up there, but.
Yeah. Does he call you Juan or John? John? I'd say we need a motion. You okay with that? Go ahead.
Make a motion to accept the bids from Carlos Construction LLC for the approach on Eagle Street and the amount of $3,200 and the approach on Third Street and the amount of $2,880.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second for the approval of the quotes from Carlos Construction as presented. There's no further discussion. Let's vote on that motion.
Travis Kramer.
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Item C, water and sewer. People service, you got a pretty good sized report this month. Been busy, huh?
Yeah, December was a busy month. We had a lot going on. You guys have any questions on any of that?
I'm really excited that we finally got that Sixth Street project done. That was
Yeah,
hanging over our heads for a long time.
some of the things that came up were things I've never seen before. The water main ran right through the sewer main. Never seen that before in my life. So they rerouted that, fixed the water or the sewer.
When you say sewer main, you're talking like a manhole, right? A vertical manhole,
Right, well,
and a
no.
water line went through it.
Okay, the manhole and then at the bottom, right at that manhole where it starts to come out to main, it was running right there.
I've never heard of that before either.
So I don't know if they built the manhole around water main or if they just put the water main through there. I would think it was probably the.
Well, if it was fiber, I could see it, that it was there later. They just go through whatever's in the way.
But they rerouted water around that section and then they fixed that section of manhole, so,
Did you get a look at the repair? You pretty confident that we're not gonna have any water filtration?
yeah,
Okay,
100%. I think
Good.
that's, who knows how much infiltration we had there from that. I mean,
because it probably wasn't sealed up where the pipe went through there, was it? Yeah. I'm glad to see the new SCADA is working well for you. Sounds like you're pretty excited about all the features it's got. Yeah, that's good.
It's gonna be wonderful.
So how often do we have meters go wackadoodle like the one on 12th Street?
That is the first time that it, to me, it has ever been the meter.
That bothers me a little bit because in our previous discussions with people that have had meter problems, it's like meters don't go bad. And
They don't.
And now-
Like 0.1%.
yeah,
So yeah, there's no clue what happened. It spiked and then it just stopped reading. So
do we need to send that meter in to somebody? Is there any, I mean, they don't warranty those things for any period of time, do they?
no, and then I think that's just gonna cost you money.
To replace it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if that's worth spending the money to see what was wrong with it.
Keep an eye on it versus,
Yeah.
I just hope this isn't gonna become a thing. I hope this was certainly just a fluke.
Yeah, because those are, I mean, that was a new census meter, so that's the same exact meters that are put in everywhere.
How new, oh, so it could have been 5-10 years old though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It wasn't, I mean, it wasn't just put in,
Yeah.
but some places don't even have the new meters.
Yeah.
They still have old meters.
yeah. Well, yeah, I know Kate doesn't want customers with 80,000 gallon usage calling her frequently, so.
they'll make up our sales tax.
Oh, geez. No, not on water. You can't tax water.
True. You can text sewer though.
And our sewer.
You can
rate
tax them
goes
to
up.
go, but you can't tax them to drink.
Yep. Makes no sense, but yes.
So I just have one thing that's not on, here, or a couple things. I'm still working on getting quotes for the curb stops that need to be fixed. With the holidays and now the weather, I mean, I can't get anybody out here. They wouldn't be able to fix it right now anymore. Hopefully by next meeting, I'll have those quotes. We can work on that. The other thing was the main break that we just had. So I wasn't aware that that main actually goes to an old well house that is east of Bell Creek. I didn't know that there was one down there. So that is an old 8-inch cast iron main. That's a huge main that runs down there. I don't know if someday we want to look into
Tapping it.
replacing it. Moving it down.
So if it goes to the old well house, that's not being used for any, there's no water usage
The
there.
the only places it goes to is the quilting place, and then down to the lift station. Those are the only two places on that line.
Now, the repair was on the north side of the highway, right?
Mhm.
Okay,
And
I
that's where,
thought,
that's where that line runs, all the way down the north side.
okay, and it crosses over before the creek, obviously. Well, probably at the quilting place. It crosses underneath the highway.
Just their service line,
Okay,
and then the service line for the lift station goes under the highway as well.
so where do you think that water main ends?
I'm gonna guess all the way back at that old sewer or the old well building.
So it would go under the creek, you
Goes
think?
under the creek.
Yeah. I wonder why we even need that part of it, but I don't know, I guess.
I don't know if we would, I mean, we could switch it to a 4-inch main eventually and just put it down to the lift station. But the thing that I'm kind of worried about is the valves that are on that, they don't work. So I don't know if, for now, if we just want to have somebody come in and replace that valve. Because we did lose 200 and I think it was 230,000 gallons of water. Because we had no way to shut it down. I wasn't here, so there was 2 guys from Valley that came out. They shut the valve down here and they thought that they had it shut off. It shut off a couple of people, so I figured it was off. Because it shut off the apartments and somebody else. So then I had to come in and there were 2 valves that were off down on Elm Street, First and Elm. So I turned those on and that's when the apartment got water and the other people got water. But then when they shut those back down, there was still another valve that they had to shut off in front of the apartments. So there's 4 valves that have to be shut down to shut that down. And it, like I said, it shuts down all the apartments. I don't know if we want to just make a scheduled repair or we shut that down and put a new valve there, since it is such a.
Well, let's get an estimate on replacing those valves, or a couple estimates if you can.
Yep.
And then if we know we've got a problem, let's get an estimate on it and let's.
Yep.
Figure out if we'll look at the estimate and see if that's something we want to fix, but.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't need any reasons. I personally don't think we need valves that don't work. Let's get them fixed, but. Get some estimates and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I guess I'm just worried about it because it's obviously that cast iron it's just as old as the one we just replaced on 6. So,
Yeah.
I mean, when that's just starting to fall apart, it could be just as bad as that one. We're gonna be shut that down all the time. So we might want to look into replacing it sometime, putting a 4-inch through there or something. Definitely, I think we need to fix the valves, so it's we can just shut it down.
Okay.
I think that's all I had for you.
I can't remember if I've talked to you or John about this, but the wastewater, the solids in the sewer main behind Casey's. Is there anything we need to be worried about with them? Do we need to contact them and say, hey, you guys are putting something down the drain you're not supposed to, do you think, or you have any idea if we need to take any more action on that?
I don't know if maybe the fact that that water main was where it was at, because that was on that same sewer main,
Okay,
could have been blocking. I mean, it was obviously blocking part of
okay,
the sewer main, and so that could have just kept. But I've never seen a sewer that bad either. It was completely full.
okay,
I'm surprised that nobody had backup at all. I
yeah.
guess we were lucky there that it didn't cause any problem, just.
So we'll just keep an eye on it and hopefully that relocating that water main outside of the sewer line will help, you think?
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay. All right,
I was curious, when you email the state representative and to cover our tracks there, who's that?
I don't have his name. I should have wrote that down, but yeah, I called him immediately because it's like there's a little bit of leakage and it's it wasn't a street, but it's like, I think you have to tell someone. So yeah, I called him and he's like, well, how big? And when I told him it was hardly anything, 5 to 15 gallons, he goes, yeah, don't even worry about that. That's no big deal. But yeah, then John fixed it the next day, put new rock over it. The state rep was pleased, very pleased. So.
good.
Do it right, I guess.
Yep. All right, Travis, I don't think we have anything other than getting the fairgrounds converted to monthly billing will be good.
That was it.
Yeah. Okay, item D. You didn't have anything else for
No.
All right,
Thank
thanks,
you.
James.
Take care, James.
Stay warm.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
All right, anybody have anything for the police committee report? You guys have anything? Did you get a quarterly set up?
Now, to be honest, I don't think we really wanted to bug them with this stuff they had going
Yeah,
on, so
yeah.
we'll probably do that in the near future here.
Yeah, they've been awfully busy.
But,
Anybody have any questions or concerns? John, do you think we need to make more streets no emergency routes?
No, it was fine this last storm.
Someone had commented, what was it, Fifth Street
Sixth.
Yeah,
or Sixth?
same person that's been in front of us before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember right, I didn't think there were hardly any vehicles on Sixth Street this last one, but.
I was thinking,
I think it's more
I was thinking Elm Street.
It's more of the, it's not for access to the school, it's access for our fire and ambulance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the point that someone had brought up on the village Facebook page. They had said that they would like to see Sixth Street be added because of the fact that so many school buses go up Sixth Street and then turn to go to the school.
I think that would have to be a resolution. Probably.
Yeah. I think that's why he's asking you if he felt like.
Me personally, guys, I push snow. I mean, I'm not the first responders or anything, so you'd have to ask the fire department about that.
Would it be a
I just don't know.
Cars are in my way, I just go around.
I just don't know why it's so hard for people to get their vehicles off the street when they know snow needs.
And like I said, this last.
It's just irritating.
Yeah, I didn't notice any.
I didn't have any,
There was one on Walnut Drive. I don't know who was driving that day. They just pushed around it. And then the person was upset. So
well,
I
get
said,
your car
"I'll
off the
get your
street.
car off the street."
I mean, I don't know what else to do when we push snow.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, really.
I mean, we're not gonna tow it. We're not, I mean,
Yeah. The plot of the snow. I wish it did, trust me.
I don't have a pile out here, right?
You can't get a box of those probiotic things you put in your, septic. Okay, let's keep moving. If nothing else for the county sheriff's report, let's move on to E Parks. Travis, Jeremy, you guys have anything new?
Frisbee golf has slowed down this week.
John, I heard we had some vandalism to one of the poles already.
Didn't expect any less.
Did we,
No, not a pole, just a sign and a marker,
do we need to replace anything?
$10 little pole that they're on.
I found the markers walking his dog. It's on top of the roof of the.
You got them. You got them located.
Assholes.
That's
on recording and care because.
Yes.
Somebody suggested that the school resource officer might be a good person to go in and talk to kids and try and get some people to flip on friends. I don't know, just maybe we could think about whether we want to put a reward out or something. I don't know.
I think we tried that last time.
Yeah, we talked about that on the light situation. We thought we had them. Happen, but that was kind of at the end of school or something, or.
That was like right at the bottom.
They're quiet now. They're all.
They are.
cold.
Yeah.
Doing too much.
Yeah, we're all hiding now.
Spring, they'll come back up.
All right, library report. Anybody have?
They haven't sent me their minutes, so there's just Julie's report. I don't have the minutes.
Did anybody make it down to see all the, I know Travis, you had seen the historical documents you found. Anybody
did.
else get down there and see that?
Nate brought it over, so it's in our back room. It's all good.
All right, item C, discussion on possible approval of quote for 48 folding chairs in the auditorium. Is that all we have is the steel backed one, or did we start buying any?
We got the resin ones for the community room, but just the metal ones for the other.
Are we getting rid of a bunch then, or?
Well, we had to. I went through them.
Good, I was just.
I went through them a couple weeks ago and yeah, there were some of them that I wouldn't,
Yeah,
my
nope.
grandma sit on.
Yep, nope, that's good.
Mom and dad or anybody like
Yep,
that.
good. Let's get rid of them.
So I think it's been, what do we figure? 10 years or 8 years since we got chairs last?
I know I voted one time, but yeah, I bet you're right, Doug.
Wow.
I bet it has.
Yep. And Jake did get these quotes, so like I said, I haven't even looked at them, so.
Yeah.
Got them. But we went with the chairs that we, with the same chairs that we got last time.
Yeah, I think the best was the All Makes one. Yeah, cause that one has tax on it, so if you take the tax off, it's 1,400.
The other one's 16.
The other one's 16, but they estimated 109 in Texas.
Right.
Which is still more than 1,400.
And All Makes is.
All Makes is local.
Yeah, I would say they're from Nebraska. You can get a hold of them probably if you've got problems.
Yeah, so I think we could just go pick it up. I don't think they put shipping on there because we could just get that.
300 chairs, that's how many we need?
No,
48.
So it's 48.
That's. the
Oh,
same.
300 series chairs, I'm sorry.
if you get 300 of them for $1,600, we'd get 9.
Let's go.
How does it say the quantity is 12?
12 packs of 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they can go to
All right,
work.
okay.
But
There we go.
yeah, and I looked around at a bunch of other places online too, and this was the best. that
Yeah, no,
was
that's
All
good.
Makes.
Well, the first people want to make that.
I'll make a motion to purchase the chairs from All Makes for a total of $1,440 for 48 chairs.
80 cents. Oh, that's tax, okay.
That's tax.
Yep, okay.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second for the approval of 48 folding chairs from All Makes and the amount not to exceed $1,440. There's no further discussion. Let's vote on that motion.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Item D, it sounds like we're losing our tree disposal at Creepies. We've got a bid from Sean Hazing.
And I did try and contact him about the charge per storm. I was just wondering if he had an amount, like if it was 500, if it was 400, if it was.
Did Griffey do extra for storms or?
He did, on the last big one that we had, he did. We don't generally have very many big storms. I mean, I think I've had, on that thing maybe 3 times since I've been here to dump down there.
What were we paying Griffey? Was that the amount we were paying Griffey
I
or
think it was 25.
2,500?
And I tried getting John Reichman to give me a quote, but he never got back to me.
Gotcha. Have we ever thought about reaching out to Fremont to see if they'd let us dump on theirs or not?
We have not.
I was just curious. I didn't know.
I thought the same thing. Cause they're mulching theirs and want to do a bunch of
I don't know.
trails.
I don't know if it's worth a phone call to them or not.
No, I have not called over there to see if they have I don't even know if they have a.
Down there by the river.
Tree dump site.
Yeah, down there by the river. Or not,
There you go.
like in Inglewood. I mean, that's the drive, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I don't know.
But you can get there quicker now with the bypass, is the only thing.
And we transport them out to that place.
You do transport. This place is about 4 or 5 miles outside of town. About the same as Greenpeace was.
Okay.
It's just a little handier for us than going all the way over to Fremont.
Mhm.
I mean, I can sure call Fremont and find out, but in the meantime, we have no place to take it if something did come up. It's our Greenpeace, I think they cut us off the first of the year.
And we would need some way to quantify hauling to Fremont, because it'd be per truckload, I suppose.
I don't.
They
know.
They wouldn't give us an annual, would they?
I have no idea.
That I don't know. I'd have to call over there and ask them.
And John, I'd be happy to call the parks director. I got it, so.
All right, let's table this till the next month, get some ideas on what that would be.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cause a problem. I was just curious if that's an option.
I don't know, yeah.
We shouldn't have to haul branches in the next 30 days, should we? All right, item I, cemetery. Do you guys have anything new?
Nothing to report at this time.
All right. Item J. Administrative Washington County Building Permit Report. Anything exciting there? Anything, anybody had any questions, concerns? If not, let's move on to the clerk report.
See, well, Jake did fantastic while I was gone. We dealt with as many problems as probably ever happened in this office. He did the payroll and he mailed the utility bills. We had issues with G-Works, and so there was a delay in the utility bills, but he figured all that out. There was the water main broke to the deposit. I don't know, he did great. We did get a pool manager applicant. She works at the school. And 5 lifeguards are returning, so we are in a good place. We're doing right so far. Historical marker proofs should be arriving soon. I sent everything over to Julie. And then she sends it over to whatever company, and then they send back what it might look like. Filed the utility lien and filed year-end certification of street superintendent. That's that.
So regarding the pool manager application, do we just have Kate interview? Or is that a board interview?
I do.
I would be willing to let either Kate or the Parks Committee members, however you guys want to do it.
Yeah, I'm either way. I'm okay either way.
And I'd be comfortable sitting in on the interview if you,
Sure.
if you want, yeah.
What you want to do, go ahead.
Okay.
Very great. Go team.
I looked over the midwinter conference agenda. Were you done with your clerk's report?
Yeah, I know I have.
Sorry, I'm not trying to rush. Game's already over, so.
I'm trying to rush, so yes, I'm done.
Okay. Did you see anything that you thought was interesting enough you'd want to go down for on the midwinter conference?
I looked at it and a lot of it felt like stuff that will probably get covered at the clerk conference week long thing, so I didn't feel like it was super necessary to go to that as well. It's also over my birthday and I'm trying.
I'm still up in the air. There was a couple I was interested in.
Yeah, like there was some good stuff. I don't think it's gonna.
Usually I feel like I have to choose between 2 I'm really interested in, and I don't know that there was that this year, but if anybody has time to go to those, there's a lot of other things besides these sessions. The legislative one from Lynn Rex is really interesting to listen to. She's really good at explaining what the legislature is doing and what bills are coming down and why we should be for or against. There's networking with other municipality members, so you do have time. I recommend going to this once just to see if it's for you and see if you can get anything out of them. There's vendors that come down there and talk to people in between sessions, so give it some thought, see if there's anything interesting in there you want to do. And we can still sign up
Through February 9th.
Yeah.
through February 9th, so let Kate know if you're interested. And I've done both ways where I drive back or get a hotel, I don't know. We've got the Tahoe that needs to be defrosted. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to drive it. So yeah, let Kate know before the deadline. Item D, discussion and possible approval of ad in 2024 people, places and progress of Washington County.
We've done this for 2 years now. But the ad that I attached in there is what we have been sending, and I think we bought a quarter page.
Quarter page, which
Yeah.
is 389.
So she sent it over again and wanted to know if you guys wanted to buy
Do you need a motion to do so?
it. Made a motion last year.
Order.
Yeah. Quarter page for 389.
All right, I'll make a motion to purchase a quarter page ad for the 2024 People, Places and Progress of Washington County. Published in the Washington County Pilot Tribune, the Citizen. In the amount of $389.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second for approval of an ad in the 2024 People, Places and Progress of Washington County edition. For a quarter page, it's $389. There's no further discussion. Let's vote on that motion.
Travis Kramer.
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Item. Go ahead.
On that ad though, can
Yes.
they update it and throw like frisbee golf on there?
Oh, yeah.
Right, like
Mhm.
if there's anything that's changed. That
Yes.
might draw some more people.
Something I was thinking of yesterday
throw
too
that
is everybody like that Arlington with the tree in it?
So I have another one that I'm having her put on the proof for the historical marker, and you guys can look at it and see if you like it.
It's-
Otherwise. don't-
Get it anywhere
No,
with-
I couldn't get a hold of
Okay.
anyone to help me, so
Okay,
I just put something on this thing. If you like it, okay, fine. If you hate it, we'll do something else, but y'all gotta come up with it. If I invited, so.
That's Linda's baby. I'd say throw on there, Elkhorn River access, even though we don't have like a formal place, but that might be something that people might not realize or. I
Sure.
don't know.
Cool.
okay, item E. Information about review plan.
Hoping to have their planning commission minutes, but Dwyer hasn't sent them over yet, but basically, the thing that they discussed was, the annexation possibly happening, across from RBR Bank or Arena for the Dollar General. I talked to the Dollar General guy, a couple weeks ago, and he said that he was still waiting to hear back from, Department of Transportation because Highway 30 is controlled access. So they basically have to plead their case. He said they have a good case though, because there's really no other place that you put in a drive for commercial use along Highway 30 in this area. That'd be it.
Something that would be handy for us is if they wanted to pave that county road and use that, that might be handy for us.
And that was something Mike Dwyer had brought up as well, is maybe that's an option for them, I don't know. But anyway, so I know that Dollar General or the people that are helping develop the property, they were hoping to have plans to us, I think by now or next month, but it might be more like March or April. But I had the planning commission discuss what annexing and zoning that area would look like. And like the main things that they talked about was, you know, you would have to annex those, I think there's 3 or 4 other properties in between what we currently have and then what we would need to reach the parcel. And there's homes on there and it would get zoned, if we're doing it correctly, it would be zoned highway commercial or whatever. And so there's homes and, you know, whatever. And so I think Mike was just hoping that you guys would start thinking about that and considering what that might look like and that sort of thing. I told them they didn't need to have like a formal recommendation because we don't have plans or anything set in stone from Dollar General, but I was just wanting everyone to think of that because that could be coming up faster than we think. But yeah.
All right, so no action needed. There's some more houses back behind there too, that I wonder if that would need to be included in the annexation all the way to the river, so something to think about.
Yeah.
Anybody have any other questions or concerns on the planning commission's discussion? Puts us at item 8.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second for adjournment. If there's no further discussion, let's vote on that motion.
Scott McCartney.
Aye.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye.
We get on all your post, or whatever.